Okay, so this is just a book that a journal, I guess, notebook journal that I created end of last year, December, beginning of January this year, 2022, and when did I finish? It's before everything else I started experiencing, that's for sure. There's things I would go back on. It's just basically like a reference to everything and different notes and ideas that I had put in the book, references, different meanings of different things. Anyways, so I was reading through it, and then I just opened it up randomly to this page, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So I'm going to try to hold it while I read. It's kind of awkward because I don't want to read it off the camera thing. Okay, so the domino effect. Every person is responsible for their actions and intentions. It is the only thing you have control over. You cannot control others and the things that they say and do. If you focus all your time and energy on other people, you give your energy away to them. Willingly or unwillingly. Protect your energy and only give it to those who are deserving and who give it back as well, like an equal exchange. When you make decisions, it ripples out just like others as well. And it does change the course of your life path and their own as well. Make sure the choices you make have only the best intentions for yourself and for others. Words do have meaning, so do our actions. What we say and how we act have a direct impact on ourselves and others. Staying positive keeps you in a higher vibration and allows you to speak and act from love, not from jealousy, hate, or fear. Getting even with somebody or trying to create any balance yourself, the negative way is for the universe to handle, not you. Wish your enemies well and send them on their way, or walk away yourself, far, far away. Hate will poison you. Try not to be jealous. I would really, really recommend not to be jealous. I realize it's hard in some circumstances, but if you really truly think about it, whatever you're wanting, just as myself, you can go after. Okay? Don't be jealous, be inspired. Try. Fear will keep you stagnant, and then there's not really room for growth, is there? I agree that if you're running away from something that could eat you, fear is logical, but if you are safe and there's no real reason for fear, it is just kind of placed there. Same with shame. Fear and shame are almost like our brain's way of giving an opportunity to learn about ourselves and a lesson from it, and like a bit of an insight into maybe our past traumas or anything like that we can take a look at. Because when you do that, then you start having more clarity, you start having more closure. The only person that can really give you closure is you, yourself, not another person, even if they speak openly to you. Ultimately, it comes down to you accepting that or not. So the only person that really can give you closure and clarity is yourself, because you know you better than anybody else. So everything has energy. Respect all of it, both negative and positive. You don't have to choose a side. We all have it in us, both positive and negative. Just understand that, okay? And yeah, as above, so below. We mirror each other. We're all connected. And I may even change this over here, the wording for it. But I read it differently. I read it, we are all or. And we are all connected, whether you like that or not. Even trees have auras, by the way. Just letting you know. Trees, anything. Everything's energy, a rock, a crystal. Everything around you that's material, it has energy. Anyways, I personally have come so far, and I've fought hard to survive as a warrior. I have been picked up every time. Myself, my spiritual guidance, you want to say. I have fallen by my higher self, who has refused to quit on me. And the spiritual support that is within me when no one else is by my side, that's really what, I don't know what I would have done without that. And no, I've never really actually read the Bible all the way through, so it's not like a religious sort of factor there. This is something internal. This is something that is, it's almost like, I want to say ingrained in all of us. Anyways, there's no need to always learn my personal lessons the hard way, which so far has been the hard way. When I'm aware of my soul purpose, when I figured that out, and I have all the tools to do what it is I came to do. Now, if you're aware of the spiritual community, they will discuss your life purpose and the contracts, so to speak, that you would sign. Let's say, if you were to compare it to something in the 3D here, something you agreed to before you came into existence in the 3D in this timeline, if I can sum that up. The divine universe wants co-creation and all of us to learn together and grow together and progress together and heal together. Healthy people, healthy brains, healthy emotions, healthy water, healthy bodies. You know, lessons are good. And when we heal our traumas, it feels good. For this world, not necessarily the codependency. I think the system we're in right now bases a lot of the things that we do on codependency. And a lot of that, I believe, can be turned into a form of control. Not making any assumptions, I am just stating outright that codependency can turn into a toxic thing. We must all do our part and step up, be brave. We're all responsible for the outcome of the future and have all the history to prove that change is definitely a must. You know, it's kind of important. And I realize the history could have been skewed and placed in a certain, like a limelight of what it was based on the people writing it and publishing it. And I'm pretty sure even in certain countries, to get something published, you still have to go through the US. We do our part, and the universe does their part to match us, whatever we're doing. And free will does have a part in it as well. When we do things randomly without thinking, the universe kind of has to adjust things to put some balance there. And that includes the karma too. Good and bad. We all get good and bad. So whatever we're putting out ultimately is what we're going to get in return. And some people find that very hard to believe or don't believe it at all, yet it happens to them on a daily basis. Sometimes it's instantaneous. And other times it takes a little while for the whole thing to play out, and then next thing you know, you hit your shin on something. Okay? So most of us are controlled by fear in the system, unfortunately. And fear is not necessarily a good way to make any decisions based out of. But everybody has free will. People can be motivated by lack or shame. Then it comes back to the jealousy thing too. I do not think jealousy, personally, I do not think jealousy is a good motivator. I've had that said to me once before, and I disagree fully with that. I don't think it's productive. Anyways, I really think we would need to understand love is unlimited, literally. If you drop all the certain things that are holding us all back, it's unlimited. The universe itself is abundant. So if you understand that whatever's from within is projected outwards, let's say the universe is within you, right? And it has both good and negative, positive and negative energy, or good and bad. Or some people refer to angels and demons, okay? If that's within you, it's projected outwards. Whatever you're focusing on, you're going to give energy to. Okay? So if the universe is abundant, then that means you're abundant. That means anything you need or you feel you lack, you already have it. If that makes sense. You don't have to agree with me. Instead of working through fear, we all should maybe be working with love and overcome certain things, especially traumas. We've all come to have love, or we will, if we don't, I really believe we all have to come to understand that love's very important. It is. And if not, if we don't do any of our self-work and love ourselves, then unfortunately that manifests outwards as well as a negative energy, because it's got to go somewhere. You've seen people that are very angry and upset, and usually it stems from something in the past, and what happens? It gets projected outwards. If they bottle it up, that's no good either, because that doesn't usually turn out too well either. And we will always end up destroying the things around us. Some of the wording in here, like I said, I wrote it a while ago. My views on certain things, like most of this, yeah, I still agree with. The wording is important. Anyways, how the world runs currently does not really work too well for positive energy, as far as I have seen. It has almost like encouraged people to treat themselves or pamper themselves or reward themselves, and not necessarily with healthy or good things or things that benefit us in the long run. It's weird, if you ask me. Anyways, we all need to evolve at one point or another. I'm pretty sure everybody understands the whole idea of evolution, okay? If you never took the class in school or anything like that, the evolution is just, it's progress in who we are as human beings. And we can't really keep bypassing things that we really need to work on, because energy itself, negative or positive, has to go somewhere. It can be transmuted. You can take a negative situation, learn the lesson from it, heal from it, and you ultimately transmute that into positive energy, and you're sending it out. And if you're made up of water, well, technically that's like it's like a wave. Okay? And if you have your own frequency or your own vibration, your own energy, just like the Schumann resonance, you're sending it outwards. And yes, eventually that shit comes back. So it would be in everybody's best interest to be sending out positive things, I would think, instead of negative. You do not have to react when you're triggered. You can understand, okay, this is upsetting me right now. This person's really getting on my nerves. Or, okay, this person's really doing something to purposely get a reaction out of me. Okay, one, if they're doing it on purpose and you know they're doing it on purpose, they obviously want your attention. Why would they want their attention, your attention, to begin with? Why do they crave your attention so much? If anything, that's kind of sweet, right? You're like, oh, you want my attention. What you do about it's up to you. But if they're really doing something and they're completely, blatantly not even aware and it upsets you, again, comes down to how you react to it. I've had issues in the past where I've reacted to certain things and it ends up coming back on me because the energy I put out is negative. And then I'm like, well, why am I getting, let's say, in trouble or whatever? It was based on my reaction to it. And the better I got at understanding things, the more clarity I got, and the less I was triggered. No longer did it bother me anymore. And yes, we can understand it. We don't have to allow fear or shame or anything like that to overtake us. We can have understanding. I think if there's more understanding, I believe if there's more understanding, there would be less chaos, less pain, and less negative energy. So, which is maybe get that balance back, because right now I think things are a little bit unbalanced, if you ask me. Overcoming the programming, it's a real thing. Programming is a real thing, guys. And it's not, it's been that way for a long time. It's not necessarily the greatest solution to become a better collective. And people are all on different timelines, experiencing different things, which other people have already gone through, all at different times. So normally in the past, let's say you judge somebody for what they're doing, but then if you take an inner look in yourself and you're like, wait a minute, I used to be there. I did that before. I went through that. I understand what that's like. It's really shitty, and sometimes you can help the person or sometimes you can choose not to. It's your energy. It's up to you. But ultimately, understanding it, and you're no longer going to be judgmental in that sense. Because it's an understanding. So you got your triggers and you got judgment. It depends on the situation, the person, and all that. Yes, I understand that. Don't abandon yourself, though. Like your inner self. Learn to heal first. Worry about you. Because some people out there, they don't give a fuck about nobody else. You can wake up with the sun. You can say thank you for another day, everything that you have. I don't even like saying blessings anymore because honestly, if I break that up, be less is not very interesting to me. I prefer not to. Anyways, be patient for the things that you have manifested and co-created because, like I said before, free will is a factor in this. So it's not just your free will. Okay? So let's think of it as like, what if it was gears or whatever, right? Like, or things turning. Well, if one person makes a decision based off of whatever, free will, right? And you make a decision, well, things have got to play out a certain way. And this right now is what I'm trying to learn. I'm not perfect. My temperance, I think it is very... Anyways, this world has got me caught up sometimes, always in a rush, and then I learned to slow down. And when I did do that, like the saying, stop and smell the roses, brings you into the present. There's an individual I want to call him out on here, but I don't have permission. But it's a positive thing. He once told me to bring yourself present. He's like, some people do this, the touch, breathing, listening to a sound, feeling wind or sun or whatever elements on your skin. Sense. Sense can bring you present right away. The scent of a rose, incense burning, a tomato plant, try your best to stay calm and relaxed when you feel yourself about to react emotionally. Emotions are valid. Yes, take a look at it. And when you're about to react based off of emotion, just stop yourself for a second, get present. Think about it, and then maybe make a decision on how you say and how you act. Now, I can come off as hypocritical just telling anybody else to do that sort of thing, because I had to learn how to be disciplined. I had to discipline myself on a lot of things that I have learned. I had to retrain, reprogram my brain, and I'm still in a process of healing and working and learning new lessons, and that's okay. I don't know if it ever stops, but collectively, if we're all learning different things and experiencing different things all at different times, to get as much information, if you think of it like a processor, well, it's going to take a little bit. We can speed up the process for sure. We don't have to do it in a negative way. We don't have to speed up the process in a negative way. We don't have to steal from other people. We don't have to shame other people. We don't have to be so judgmental, like the harsh kind, where you're ridiculing somebody to feel like less of a human being, when you yourself know you're just as bad, if not worse. Especially if you're calling somebody out for something specific, is usually a trigger within yourself anyways. It's like a mirror thing. Like holding a mirror up to yourself. I like this about this person. That you're actually talking about yourself. Or I dislike this about this person. Well, actually, you're talking about yourself. There's no rush to healing. Take a second. Self-accountability is not easy. It's not the only way, but it's definitely efficient, and it gets the job done. And you definitely learn a lot about yourself inside. And you learn to gain your own peace and clarity and like closure. That's the word I was looking for. Breathe. Be patient. Try to enjoy life the best you can. If you're going through a phase right now where things seem surreal or things seem like you've broken out of the matrix, stay as calm as you can, because you're still putting out energy. I speak from experience. When things become overwhelming, breathing was really helpful. Sometimes you can cry. That's a release of energy as well. It all depends on the person, the situation. But if there's things you do not understand, if you get overwhelmed, just remember most of the time we are fearful of something is because we don't understand. So we can take the time to understand it or not. That's totally free will. But like I said, and everything's energy. Crystals are energy. They can be used to amplify things. They all have their different meanings. Did you know that? They have their different meanings, what they're used for, and, your intention when you use them. They're very helpful. It can be a comfort thing for some people, Water, very powerful healing. Same thing. You can put your intention into it. You can release certain emotions or energies. You can transmute things. Because if you're having a bath or whatever, you're submerged in the element itself, which is the energy, right? So if you want to figure out how that works, you do more research on that, figuring out how it can help calm your mind. Intentions for cleansing. Calming music. You can put incense, you can put a candle, whatever. Some people do spiritual work and other kind of work. I don't suggest doing it for negative reasons. You know why? Like I said before, what you put out, you get back. Exactly. So why would you want to put out negative stuff when you're just punching yourself in the face every time? And like I said, I've done it too. This is okay, this is original, by the way. Frequency is like the ripples on water, but instead it's in the air. And right now we're in the age of Aquarius, which I find funny because Aquarius to me automatically sounds like water. But it's air. We're in the element of air. And when we send out our frequencies, our sound, vibrations, if you want to call it, it gets sent out there. And all energies given off are sent out and then return on their own time when they're meant to. You know, it's best to keep the vibration positive that you send out, high frequency. Think of it as waves, right? Bigger waves can stop smaller waves. Let's say the smaller ones is like negative. Balance is good too. Have you ever seen when you put music to water, what happens? Or even sand, the different shapes and stuff. I'm going to end it there because it's pretty long. I don't know if this will upload. Do your cleansing, self, internal work, healing, gratitude. No matter how much or little you have, be grateful. Focus and discipline help. Sometimes people find it difficult to be disciplined. They get upset because they see other people with discipline. However, you can achieve that yourself. Right now, I have a hard time hitting the snooze button. I'm going back to bed. And definitely decalcify if you believe in that sort of thing. No fluoride, no aluminum. It's totally up to you. What you put in your body, still energy. So, anyways, be well, guys. Be well.